Many of you ask me, how can I improve my listening? Or what should I listen to? For years, I've been collecting the best of the best, and today I'm finally sharing my ultimate list with you. We'll start with the absolute essentials for beginners, move on to the podcast that will make you sound more natural, and finish with a few that will help you think and even laugh in English. First one on the list is BBC Learning English. Now, this is on the top of the list for a reason. I really love it. I have truly enjoyed the format that they have, and there's something very special about the episodes that are there on this podcast. This isn't just any learning program. It's from the BBC, a world leader in broadcasting, as you know. That means you're getting incredibly high quality audio, professional presenters, and context that's been carefully designed by language experts. It's the gold standard. It's actually one of the best ones out there. And don't go anywhere, I've got really good ones ahead in this video too. So just hold on, wait till the end, and you're going to find out the 10 best podcasts in the industry on YouTube and elsewhere to learn English from. Podcast is the way the world is progressing. This is a massive hit on YouTube and otherwise on Spotify and God knows what all channels. People are listening to podcasts everywhere. So I feel learning English through a podcast is a brilliant idea because you can do it while driving. Of course, you need to focus on your driving, but since you play radio, this could be on the radio, right? This could just play in the background and you can absorb it naturally, the language. So BBC Learning English is a long-running branch of the British Broadcasting Corporation, which is BBC, dedicated to helping non-native speakers improve their English skills. Now, here are the special pointers about this podcast. Under the BBC Learning English umbrella, there are several mini-series aimed at different aspects of language learning like vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, etc. My personal favorite is their 6-minute English series. They're really nice episodes. In just 6 minutes, you get a topical conversation between two presenters, a breakdown of key vocabulary, and a question of the week. It's the most efficient 6 minutes of English learning you can get. You can choose your level between easy, medium, and hard. Each episode is fairly short, about 3 to 6 minutes, making it easy to fit into a busy schedule. Produced by the BBC, it includes segments on current events, interviews, and everyday conversations. Each episode focuses on a specific grammar or vocabulary topic and uses real news clips. The show also emphasizes pronunciation and intonation. This is where you can follow and find out where these podcasts are available. I'm going to be listing them down somewhere here, okay? And every single link is available in the description of this video. So do not hesitate to click on the description of the video. It is filled with gold links and gold information, really helpful for your English learning journey. So of course they are available on their website and their app, but apart from that, you can also listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Moving on to the next one, which is Voice of America, VOA Learning English. This podcast is designed for non-native speakers, people like me and you, okay, using simplified vocabulary and slower paced speech to enhance understanding and build confidence in listening skills especially. If the BBC is your gateway to British English, VOA is your essential resource for American English. You may wonder, ma'am, do we need to specifically focus on British, American, and all these different accents? Personally, talking about myself, I am really fluent in listening and understanding American English, okay? I am not saying that I can speak in that accent. Of course, I cannot because I've not lived there. I haven't been to America too, but okay, that has no meaning whatsoever here because you don't go to a place and you learn the accent. You have to live in that area for many, many years to absorb their accent. So, of course, I do not speak those accents, but I'm very, very comfortable in understanding American English, and I am getting better at understanding British English too. Their accent and Australian accent. I personally find Australian accent a bit difficult, but American is like peanuts. It's very easy now because I've seen, I don't know, some thousands of episodes of different shows and movies. I don't need captions anymore. I am very good to go without captions in movies and in shows for British and American English. But when it comes to Australian, yeah, I might choose to switch those on, but I don't think I usually watch too many Australian shows. I do read Australian books, but Australian authors, but not too many shows. Now here's the special information about this podcast. It is produced by the US government's official external broadcaster. So again, you're getting trusted, high quality content. It offers different series and segments such as Words and Their Stories and English in a Minute that focus on vocabulary building, pronunciation, and practical language use. They don't just speak slowly, they use a slightly limited core vocabulary of about 1500 words. This is a deliberate teaching method. Deliberate, I mean it's intentional. They want to keep it to a limited vocabulary because they want you to exercise and practice those words, okay? It allows you to build a strong foundation and gain confidence without feeling overwhelmed. It's like learning to swim in the shallow end of the pool before diving into the deep. You get it. Check out their series American Stories. They adapt classic short stories from famous American authors like Edgar Allan Poe and Mark Twain into simplified English. It's a brilliant way to absorb culture and language at the same time. Now, here are the special pointers. They use slower paced speech. Podcasts are accompanied by creatively produced videos. Episodes deal with current events, science, culture, and so much more. So you get both language practice and knowledge of the topic. It is helpful for newcomers who want to build listening confidence, especially. It is available on their website, learnenglish.voanews.com, and apart from that, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Next one on the list is The English We Speak by BBC. So this is another one by BBC, but of course it is different from the one that I spoke about right in the beginning of the video. The English We Speak helps you to stay on top of the latest English words and phrases. So this is more about the latest trending stuff. The episodes are under 3 minutes long and focus mainly on building English vocabulary. This is my secret weapon for all of you who want to stop sounding like a textbook and start sounding like a native speaker. It teaches you the idioms and slang that people actually use in conversation. For example, instead of saying it's very expensive, you learn to say it costs an arm and a leg. Because each episode is hyper focused on just one phrase, it's incredibly easy to remember. You listen for 3 minutes, you learn one new expression, and you can start using it that same day. It's the most high impact, low effort podcast on this list. So just 3 minute long episodes. Easy breezy. It's just 3 minute long episodes which focus on a single English phrase or idiom per episode. I love the idea. I love the concept. Excellent for quick listening practice and building up your bank of everyday expressions. Easy to binge listen and revisit particular phrases whenever needed. So you could do probably 4 or 5 in a day. I think 2 or 3 minimum you can do for sure. But yes, if you can stretch it a little, 5 a day would be what? Cost you about 15-16 minutes of your time, which is nothing. But of course, it's harder to remember those many expressions if you learn them in one single go. So yes, I think ideally it should be 2 to 3 statements, which is 2 to 3 podcasts, which is what? 9 minutes, 10 minutes of your day? Nothing, no? And then when you learn those phrases or you learn those words, just make sure that you practice them the same day. Many people ask me this on a very regular basis, that ma'am, you teach all these new words and we love them when we hear them and it's fascinating, but we just can't recall them at the right time and we forget about those words. See, for vocabulary, it's important that you understand. Anybody who speaks really good or is very fluent in English or masters amazing vocabulary like Shashi Tharoor and people like these, what we need to understand is that the words that they speak are actually way fewer than the words they actually know. So your active vocabulary will always be smaller than your passive vocabulary. Because passive vocabulary is a huge, massive bank of words that you've heard of, you understand, but they don't come to your mind when you have to speak to somebody. And that's okay, it happens the same way with everybody. Gradually, when you hear the word over and over again and again, it starts to fall into the category of active vocabulary and move away from your passive vocabulary. Here is your availability. You can go to bbc.co.uk/learningenglish or the rest of the resources on the screen. Just choose, okay? Amaze your friends, impress your teachers and parents with the fantastic words and phrases you learn with this podcast. Go ahead. Next one on the list is ESL Pod, English as a second language. So ESL is English as a second language. Pod is podcast. This podcast is an absolute legend in the English learning world. It's been around since 2005, means there is a massive archive of over 1800 episodes. Whatever situation you need to practice, from ordering a coffee to negotiating a contract, there's an ESL Pod episode for it. It's been around for many years. ESL Pod has built a dedicated listener base. Every episode has a brilliant two-part structure. First, you hear a dialogue at a very slow speed. Then the host, Dr. Jeff McQuillan, breaks down every single word and phrase. Okay, he explains it to you. Finally, you hear the same dialogue again at a normal, natural speed. This slow then fast method is incredibly effective for training your ear. Now, here are the special pointers. Episodes are built around situational dialogues like visiting a restaurant, speaking in a meeting. It features slow, clearly enunciated speech in plain language, which makes it easy to listen to and understand. Vocabulary and phrases are repeated multiple times within an episode to reinforce learning. The podcast typically includes explanations of vocabulary and expressions. Now, this is the availability, ESLPod.com, or you could go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Next one on the list is RealLife English Podcast. The beyond the classroom philosophy is what they follow. I'll tell you what it is, okay, what I'm talking about. The motto of Real Life English is to help you learn English from the world, not from a textbook, okay? This podcast feels less like a lesson and it feels more like you're hanging out with cool international friends who happen to be teaching you English. These conversations on the episodes are fun, they're modern, they're full of energy. It's not just a podcast, it's a global movement. They have a huge community and an app called Real Life English where you can connect with other learners and practice speaking for free. So you can listen to the podcast, then immediately find someone to practice with. It's a complete ecosystem for learning. This podcast is fantastic for mid-level to advanced level learners, okay, who want to bridge the gap to fluency. They don't slow down their speech much, so it's a great challenge that will push your listening skills to the next level. Now, here are the special pointers, though I've already told you quite a bit. It focuses on helping learners sound natural, confident through real conversations and cultural insights. It covers vocabulary, slang, tips on mastering English pronunciation. It encourages learners to immerse themselves in English with helpful strategies for daily practice. RealLifeGlobal.com is where you can find this podcast. Next one on the list, and this is one of my favorite ones, and it's really special because this is the only one that probably is really funny. It's a very funny podcast. Once you listen to one of the episodes, you'll know why I'm saying this. Luke's English Podcast. Let's be honest, learning can sometimes be boring. Luke's English Podcast is the antidote to that. Luke Thompson is a qualified teacher, but he's also a stand-up comedian. That's the special part of this. The result is a podcast that is genuinely hilarious. You'll be learning complex grammar, vocabulary through stories about his life and funny observations. You'll be laughing so much that you'll forget that you're even studying. With over 900 episodes, many of which are over an hour long, this is a deep dive. This is the podcast you put on when you're driving, cooking, or you're at the gym. It's perfect for long-term immersion. He has an entire series dedicated just to phrasal verbs, the British monarchy, or breaking down movies. The depth is just incredible. You'll really enjoy. This podcast started in 2009 and it's still going strong. There are now over 900 audio episodes, transcripts, a YouTube channel which is 1 million plus strong. A special series on phrasal verbs that you must look out for. The podcast has won several awards and has had over 150 million downloads in total, as I learned from their website. It will help you not only improve your language skills but also gain a deeper understanding of British culture. Okay, now here are the special pointers. It offers transcripts from many episodes, okay, on their website, which is great for reading along. So you could just download the transcript alongside, you can listen to the podcast, and then you can follow from the text. Okay, this feature is particularly beneficial for learners who want to check unfamiliar words or review the material later if you want to revisit it. And this is where it is available. Luke's English Podcast website, which is teacherluke.co.uk, and the rest of the resources. Overall, this podcast stands out for its unique mix of entertainment and education. Once again, you will find the links in the description. Don't forget to check out. Next on the list is Culips ESL Podcast. Now, there are a variety of formats in this one. This is their unique strength. What I love about Culips is that they have different types of episodes for different needs. They have Chatterbox, which is a totally natural conversation between native speakers, okay? Then there is Catchword, which is a deep dive into one specific idiom or expression, okay? And then you have Simplified Speech, which is similar to VOA but with more natural topics. Okay, you can pick the style that works best for you. Choose yourself. Many podcasts are either British or American, but the hosts of Culips are Canadian. This gives you fantastic exposure to a very clear, neutral, and widely understood North American accent. Okay, while this podcast is free, their detailed study guides that come with the transcripts are a game changer. They provide you full explanations. There are quizzes, if I remember correctly, and then there are examples that turn a listening session into a comprehensive session. Episodes feature natural, unscripted conversations, and they expose their listeners to the flow of everyday English. By listening to this podcast, learners can get accustomed to how native speakers use language in a variety of real-world contexts. Okay, and alongside authentic dialogues, the host often break down language nuances. So they explain you the nuances of the language that they're using. That helps the learners understand the context, and there are subtleties to every language, the spoken English. You get that also. Okay, now the special pointers are that you can apply filters and select the difficulty level, which I think will be very helpful for you. Each comes with a transcript to read along. Again, really important for some learners. The host often breaks down idiomatic expressions and slang. Idiomatic expressions are idioms. Okay, they break those down. They explain you the meaning, the usage. You can find it on culips.com, apart from Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube and Google Podcasts. So we are already done with 7. Now I've got 3 bonus podcasts for you. This is a bonus round with podcasts that serve a different purpose. Okay, now for the ambitious learner, All Ears English. Now this podcast, why is it great? It is hosted by 2 energetic American women. Their motto is connection, not perfection. It's for intermediate advanced learners. They don't just teach grammar, they teach you how to use English to connect with people in business, travel, and in life. They have over 2,000 episodes. Now, here's the standout fact. They focus heavily on culture, answering questions like how to give a compliment in the US without being weird, or what's the right way to make small talk at a party. It's a culture and fluency podcast rolled into one. So I think you will really enjoy it, but remember, I told you, I warned you, this is for the advanced learners. But there's no harm in trying it out, right? Okay, moving on. This is where you can find it, allearsenglish.com, apart from the rest of the resources on the screen. For the story lovers, and again, this is advanced one, stuff you should know. For my advanced learners, I have a challenge for you. It's time to take the training wheels off. I want you to try listening to a podcast made for native speakers. Now, this podcast is my top recommendation for you. The topics are fascinating, and because they are explaining complex things, they speak very clearly. So, if you can follow this, you're ready for any conversation with anybody. Why this one is great is because it is a real podcast where people are actually talking, okay, not designed for learners, but I anyway have it on my list because it's nice. It's one of the most popular podcasts in the world, so you must give it a shot. I think it's going to be really enjoyable. You should check it out. StuffYouShouldKnow.com is where they host it, apart from the rest. Last one on the list is for the grammar nerd. Grammar Girl, quick and dirty tips for better writing. Why is this great? The host, Meghna Fogati, is a grammar superstar. Her episodes are short, 5 to 10 minutes long, and they solve common grammar problems like affect versus effect or who versus whom. Grammar Girl is your superhero. Go and check it out. In short, 10 episodes, she makes even the most confusing grammar easy to understand. This is a must listen if you write emails, essays, or reports in English. And the availability lies here. quickanddirtytips.com/grammar-girl. So that was all in the video. I really had fun recording filming this one for you. If you liked it, please show some love in the comment section of this video. If you liked it, share it with somebody you care about. If there are people in your family, in your friends, maybe in your school, your teachers, who you think would be interested in learning from an English podcast that is actually made specifically for learning English, then this is the one. This video is for you. Please go ahead, share it with as many people as you can, because that is how this video will realize its full potential and my hard work will get repaid, because then the information will be used by many more learners through your help. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe, stay for as long as you can. I never make nonsense content. My content is always good. I promise you will only and only get value from this channel. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.